Hidden deep within ancient maps are mysteries that mainstream history has yet to explain. These maps aren't simply navigational tools. They are living witnesses to truths forgotten, or perhaps even deliberately concealed by powerful forces throughout centuries. Some ancient maps hold knowledge far beyond their time, accurately depicting lands history claims were undiscovered at the time they were drawn. One notable example is the Piri Reis Map from 1513, clearly illustrating the coastline of Antarctica free from ice, a chillingly accurate depiction of a continent that, according to official records, would remain hidden beneath its icy shroud for centuries more. How could a Turkish admiral from the 16th century possess such extraordinary knowledge, details only confirmed by modern technology in the 20th century? But the mysteries don't end with Antarctica. The 14th century Zeno Map recorded precise details of the distant Arctic regions long before European explorers officially ventured there, challenging our understanding of early global exploration. Similarly astonishing is the Vinland Map, which clearly shows the Americas hundreds of years before Columbus's famed journey to the New World, raising profound questions about who truly discovered the continent. Europe wasn't the only place producing these intriguing maps. In the East, Asian cartographers created astoundingly precise global maps at very early dates. The 1402 Cangnedo Map accurately depicts Africa and Europe, regions with which Asian civilizations had no known official contact at that time. Where did such remarkable knowledge originate? Could an advanced civilization, lost to history, have left behind their knowledge solely within these ancient maps, waiting for us to rediscover their secrets? Even more compelling is the fact that some of these maps were once forbidden, locked away in secret libraries like the Vatican archives, or mysteriously destroyed in suspicious fires that many scholars believe were far from accidental. Could someone have been deliberately hiding dangerous truths, truths which, if revealed, would completely overturn our understanding of history and humanity's origins? In tonight's special episode on the Bedtime History Channel, we'll journey into a hidden world, one filled with ancient maps mankind was never meant to see, revealed for the first time before your very eyes. These maps offer tantalizing evidence of a forgotten history, of ancient wisdom lost to time, and they silently send a warning message to today's generation. Could it be that our ancestors knew much more than historical records suggest? What profound messages are these ancient maps trying to convey to humanity's future? These mysteries are waiting for you to uncover right now. Are you ready? Right now, adjust the volume to a comfortable level. Find a cozy place to relax and prepare for a journey that could entirely reshape your perspective on human history. If you enjoy captivating historical stories to ease you into sleep, don't forget to subscribe to Bedtime History so you won't miss any of our special journeys. And please comment below to share the mysterious historical topics you'd like to explore in our next episode. Your ideas are the inspiration that keeps us bringing you the most fascinating stories every night. When secrets hidden within ancient maps are revealed, few discoveries astound us as profoundly as the Piri Reis Map of 1513. Drawn by the renowned Turkish admiral Piri Reis, this map has become an enduring symbol of historical mysteries that mainstream scholarship has yet to fully explain. In 1929, researchers stumbled upon this map, rolled up and gathering dust for nearly 400 years in the archives of Istanbul's Topkapi Palace. What they discovered upon unrolling it left scholars worldwide speechless. A depiction of the world unlike any other geographical document from its era. The shock surrounding the Piri Reis Map stems not merely from its detailed portrayal of known regions, but rather from its astonishingly accurate depiction of a continent that modern science tells us was unknown to humanity at the time the map was drawn, the continent of Antarctica. Yet the true mystery doesn't lie merely in the map's inclusion of Antarctica, but in how it portrays the continent completely free from ice. Modern science confirms that the last time Antarctica was entirely ice-free was around 6,000 years ago, long before any known civilization could have mapped it. How could Piri Reis have recreated the topography of this region with such remarkable precision, considering that Antarctica was officially discovered only in 1820, over 300 years after the map was drawn? How could an admiral living in the early 16th century possess such exact data regarding the coastline, rivers, and mountain ranges, details only confirmed by radar mapping in 1949? One leading theory suggests that Piri Reis did not personally survey the geography himself, but instead relied on much older sources, possibly originating from the legendary Library of Alexandria, or perhaps ancient lost knowledge from Egypt, Greece, or even the mythical civilization of Atlantis. Indeed, in the marginal notes of his own map, Piri Reis acknowledged consulting numerous older maps, some of which have since vanished without a trace. This strongly implies that the depiction of an ice-free Antarctica originated from an era far earlier, a time when humanity had access to geographic technologies far beyond current historical understanding. Further in-depth analyses of the Piri Reis Map, conducted by Professor Charles Hapgood and his team at the University of New Hampshire in the 1960s, revealed even more astonishing details. Hapgood asserted that the accuracy of this map rivaled that of modern cartography, even accurately depicting areas now buried beneath kilometer-thick ice sheets. From this, he proposed the controversial theory that in some remote ancient period, an advanced civilization possessed the ability to survey global geography from high altitudes or even from space. Though Hapgood's hypothesis was initially rejected by conservative scholars, even his critics could not convincingly explain how Piri Reis and other medieval navigators had acquired such extensive geographical knowledge. In fact, after detailed studies of the map in the 1960s, experts from the U.S. Air Force acknowledged its extraordinary accuracy, admitting the existence of a mystery they simply couldn't resolve. Today, some researchers continue to ask provocative questions. Could the true origin of this map trace back to a lost civilization that once thrived in Antarctica before it became permanently encased in ice? Might Piri Reis and his predecessors have had access to copies of documents originating from the legendary libraries of Atlantis or some other forgotten ancient civilization? While we remain captivated by the Antarctic mysteries of the Piri Reis Map, on the opposite side of the world, other secrets have quietly waited centuries for us to unravel. Among them is the Zeno Map, another enigmatic relic that challenges conventional historical narratives about the Arctic. It raises a provocative question. Could ancient civilizations have explored the globe long before the voyages recorded by traditional history? First introduced to the world in 1558 by Niccolo Zeno, a descendant of a prominent Venetian family of explorers and merchants, the Zeno map immediately sparked controversy with its inexplicable geographical details of the North Atlantic and Arctic regions, areas historians insist remained unexplored in the 14th century. According to historical accounts, the map was created based on documents collected by two Venetian brothers, Antonio and Niccolo Zeno, during their lengthy journey around 1380. Astonishingly, the Zeno map accurately describes islands and seas surrounding Greenland, Iceland, and other Arctic territories, regions mainstream history states were only reached by Western explorers in the 19th century. These locations aren't merely sketched roughly, they are detailed with remarkable precision, including small islands, deep water areas, and even natural harbors suitable for ships. From the moment it appeared, the Zeno map became a focal point of debate. Researchers questioned how two 14th century explorers, equipped only with limited navigational tools, could have documented a distant and harsh region with such accuracy. Moreover, their detailed descriptions of interactions with Arctic indigenous peoples, including insightful observations about their lifestyles, cultures, and languages, led many to conclude that the Zeno map is proof Europeans reached North America well before Columbus's famous voyage in 1492. For centuries, academia has been sharply divided on the matter. Skeptics argue that the Zeno map is an elaborate 16th century forgery, created specifically to highlight the Zeno family's pioneering role in exploring unknown lands. Supporters, however, insist that despite some ambiguities surrounding the Zeno brothers' account, the map's geographical accuracy is undeniable, far beyond the imaginative capabilities of any 16th century forgerer. One particularly intriguing detail of the Zeno map is the depiction of Friesland, a large island complete with cities, harbors, and mountain ranges. European explorers sought this island for centuries, but Friesland was never found at the location indicated. Its existence remains one of the map's greatest mysteries. Some modern researchers speculate Friesland might have once existed, but sank beneath the ocean due to a natural catastrophe. Or perhaps it was a cartographic error carried over from earlier maps the Zeno brothers used as references. Yet one fact remains undeniable. The Zeno map provides geographical details so accurate that many believe it must have originated from actual expeditions. Other islands like Iceland and Greenland are depicted with astounding accuracy, including features that only first-hand travelers could know. If evidence emerges to support pre-Columbian journeys, our understanding of the history of exploration in North America and the Arctic will need rewriting entirely. An even bolder hypothesis suggests the information collected by the Zeno brothers may have originated from Norse Viking explorers, who indeed reached North America and the Arctic centuries earlier. Ancient Icelandic texts document Norse sailors discovering lands they named Vinland, identified today as Newfoundland, Canada. The Zeno map could thus be based on records or oral traditions handed down by Viking navigators, forming a web of ancient knowledge forgotten over centuries. Regardless of its true origins, the Zeno map forces us to consider a broader question. How many other secrets remain hidden in humanity's geographical past? If medieval Europeans possessed detailed knowledge of the Arctic, might similar undocumented voyages have occurred elsewhere across the globe? Journeys deliberately omitted from official historical records, or even intentionally erased from human memory. If the Zeno map raised questions about Europeans exploring the Arctic before the official age of discovery, then the Vinland map poses an even bigger challenge. Was America truly the New World, as history traditionally emphasizes? First unveiled to the public in 1957, the Vinland map shook the academic community by clearly suggesting that Europeans had knowledge and even precise maps of North America long before Christopher Columbus's famed voyage of 1492. The Vinland map appeared within an ancient manuscript known as the Norse Map Codex, discovered in a small European library. This remarkable map depicts a territory named Vinland, a vast land west of Greenland, corresponding to present-day Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada. What is especially noteworthy is that the map has been dated to the 15th century, clearly predating Columbus's historic voyage, during which he set sail seeking a western route to Asia, but accidentally stumbled upon America. From the moment of its revelation, the Vinland map ignited intense scholarly debates worldwide. Conservative historians immediately questioned its authenticity, suspecting it to be an elaborate forgery intended to rewrite history. However, modern scientific analyses, including radiocarbon dating and studies of ink, paper, and handwriting, have yielded contradictory results. While some experts firmly argue that the map is authentic, others continue to vehemently dispute its origins. Yet, if we assume the map is indeed genuine, its implications are enormous. It would confirm that Europeans, specifically Viking sailors from Northern Europe, not only reached North America long before Columbus, but also conducted voyages frequently enough to produce detailed maps. This aligns closely with Norse sagas and legends that recount the adventures of Leif Erikson, a Viking explorer who is said to have landed in North America around the year 1000 AD. Ancient Icelandic texts document Norse sailors discovering lands they named Vinland, identified today as Newfoundland, Canada. The Vinland map could thus be based on records or oral traditions handed down by Viking navigators, forming a web of ancient knowledge forgotten over centuries. Regardless of its true origins, the Vinland map forces us to consider a broader question. How many other secrets remain hidden in humanity's geographical past? If medieval Europeans possessed detailed knowledge of the Arctic, might similar undocumented voyages have occurred elsewhere across the globe? Journeys deliberately omitted from official historical records, or even intentionally erased from human memory? While debates continue about the authenticity of ancient maps like Zeno and Vinland, another remarkable map quietly emerged from the shadows of history, carrying details so precise they're nearly impossible to comprehend. This is the Oronteus Finaeus Map, first published in 1531 by the renowned French mathematician and cartographer Oronteus Finaeus, known by his Latinized name, Oronteus Finaeus. Immediately, this map drew attention for its depiction of Antarctica, a continent that was, according to official history, still entirely unknown at the time.
At first glance, the Oronteus Finaeus Map may seem like any other 16th century world map.
However,
Upon closer inspection, one is astonished by the incredibly accurate depiction of Antarctica. Far from simply outlining the coastline, Finaeus included detailed mountain ranges, rivers, and bays, features that modern science has only been able to confirm through satellite and radar technology since the latter half of the 20th century. When examined in greater detail in the 20th century, this map stunned geographic and historical experts. One of the first scholars to recognize the extraordinary significance of the Oronteus Finaeus Map was Professor Charles Hapgood of the University of New Hampshire, famous for his earlier research into the Piri Reis Map. Hapgood argued that the Antarctic details on Finaeus's map couldn't possibly be explained by mere luck or coincidence. Instead, they clearly demonstrated systematic geographic knowledge far beyond the exploration capabilities of humans at the time. Recent scientific analyses have only deepened this mystery. The Antarctica depicted by Oronteus Finaeus aligns remarkably closely with modern maps showing the continent's subglacial terrain beneath thick ice sheets. Modern geological studies confirm that the last time Antarctica was free of ice was roughly 6,000 years ago, far beyond any historical records we possess. This has led to a compelling hypothesis. Finaeus's map may have been based upon significantly older sources originating from civilizations that history has long since forgotten. The central mystery remains: how could a 16th century cartographer have obtained accurate information about a continent no human had officially visited at that time? A popular theory is that Oronteus Finaeus, much like Piri Reis, relied upon ancient sources, perhaps documents preserved from the legendary Library of Alexandria, or ancient texts lost from Greece, Egypt, or even the mythical civilization of Atlantis. Historians acknowledge that Renaissance European scholars devoted great efforts to rediscover lost knowledge from the ancient world, often via Arabic translations or hidden monastic libraries. Beyond theories involving ancient lost sources, some bold speculation suggests the Oronteus Finaeus map might originate directly from civilizations that once inhabited Antarctica itself before it became permanently encased in ice. Certain researchers have proposed that this map represents surviving evidence of a highly advanced prehistoric civilization capable of conducting global geographical surveys from above, or perhaps even from Earth's orbit. Although mainstream academia may find such theories difficult to accept, no conventional explanation yet adequately accounts for the extraordinary precision of this map. This dilemma raises profound questions about the possible existence of hidden cycles of advanced civilizations throughout human history. Are we truly the first advanced civilization to flourish on Earth? Or are we merely repeating a cycle that occurred long before our recorded past? Another intriguing aspect adding to the mystery of the Oronteus Finaeus map is the fact that Antarctica had never appeared on any European maps at the time of its publication. It wasn't until 1820, almost 3 centuries later, that humans officially set foot on Antarctica. How could Oronteus Finaeus have included geographic details that humans would only verify more than 400 years later using radar technology capable of penetrating thick layers of ice? As scholars were still grappling with the inexplicable accuracy of Oronteus Finaeus's depiction of Antarctica, another ancient map, equally enigmatic, captured the attention of researchers, prompting even deeper questions. This was the 1737 Boucher map, created by the renowned French geographer Philippe Boucher. The map's most remarkable feature was its depiction of a mysterious continent located entirely beneath the ocean, a concept seemingly impossible in the 18th century. Philippe Boucher was a pioneering scholar in geography and hydrography. He didn't merely illustrate known lands, he boldly presented on his map an expansive submerged continent stretching between South America and Antarctica, a landmass absent from all modern maps. When this map was first unveiled in Paris in 1737, it immediately sparked intense debate. How could an 18th-century geographer confidently assert the existence of a submerged continent far beyond the exploration capabilities of his time? The strangeness of Boucher's map lies not only in its depiction of an underwater continent, but also in the detailed geological structures he portrayed: submerged mountain ranges, underwater plateaus, and even deep oceanic trenches. These were geological features only accessible through advanced 20th-century sonar and specialized submarine technologies. Modern scientists, comparing Boucher's map with recent geological surveys, have been astonished to discover that many of the details he illustrated actually exist thousands of meters beneath the ocean surface. What has puzzled researchers even further is the source of information Philippe Boucher used to create this extraordinary map. Boucher himself acknowledged relying upon much older documents from the French Royal Library, including secret manuscripts and ancient maps passed down among European intellectual circles for generations. Some theories suggest Boucher may have accessed rare documents from antiquity, perhaps originating from the legendary Library of Alexandria, or maps meticulously preserved over centuries by medieval monks, navigators, and scholars who carefully hid them from public view. Another intriguing hypothesis connects Boucher's mysterious map to the legend of Atlantis, a prehistoric continent said to have sunk beneath the sea following a catastrophic event. Boucher, along with many scholars of his era, may have believed Atlantis was more than mere legend. He considered it a genuine historical landmass, submerged beneath the ocean. The detailed geological formations depicted by Boucher could therefore derive from ancient texts describing Atlantis, texts that have since been lost or deliberately concealed over the centuries. Aside from the Atlantis hypothesis, contemporary researchers have raised the possibility that Boucher's submerged continent might correlate with prehistoric landmasses such as Zealandia or other continental fragments that sank due to geological shifts millions of years ago. In fact, in 2017, geologists confirmed Zealandia as a submerged continent near Australia and New Zealand, lending renewed credibility to Boucher's astonishingly precise depiction nearly 3 centuries earlier. Yet the greatest mystery remains. How could Boucher have known about and accurately illustrated these complex underwater geological structures? Did he truly rely only on ancient sources as he claimed, or did he have access to a hidden source of knowledge that modern scholarship has yet to uncover? While scholars continued pondering the mysteries raised by the Boucher map, on the other side of the world, another ancient map emerged, broadening the debate into a truly global context. This was the Kangnido map of 1402 from Korea. This astonishing artifact demonstrates that Asian scholars had accurately depicted the world long before Europeans embarked on their famed Age of Exploration. The Kangnido map, fully named Hwanil Gangni Yekde Gukdo, translated as Map of Integrated Lands and Regions of Historical Countries and Capitals, was considered by historians to be one of the earliest surviving world maps from East Asia. When it appeared in the early 14th century, it astounded scholars with its remarkably precise depiction of Asia, Europe, and particularly Africa, lands that at the time were believed to be far beyond Asian knowledge or reach. The Zeno map combined geographic insights from diverse sources, notably earlier Chinese, Arab, and Persian scholars.
But what made it stand out was its sophisticated synthesis of these sources into a unified image of the world, far surpassing contemporary European maps in accuracy and detail. For example, Zeno portrayed Africa with clear coastlines, rivers, and even specific locations, details unimaginable to most Western cartographers of the same era. One of the most intriguing features of Zeno is its explicit illustration of major trade routes, especially the Silk Road, stretching from China through Central Asia and onward to Europe and Africa. This implies that medieval East Asian scholars possessed knowledge extending far beyond their immediate region, reflecting extensive international trade and cultural exchange networks. Modern researchers have been particularly astonished by Zeno's relatively accurate depiction of Africa, including the vast Sahara Desert and surrounding seas. Some place names on the map remarkably correspond with locations that Europeans would only discover centuries later. This observation has led researchers to wonder whether Asian merchants or Muslim explorers had direct access to Africa long before European voyages commenced. One compelling theory suggests the Zeno map resulted from extensive intellectual exchanges with the Islamic world, whose medieval scholars had far surpassed others in maritime navigation and geographic exploration. Islamic cartographers such as al-Idrisi and Ibn Battuta famously traveled across Africa, Central Asia, and even Europe, meticulously recording the regions they encountered. The transmission of this rich geographic knowledge via established trade routes likely enabled Korean scholars during the Joseon dynasty to produce a map of extraordinary accuracy. Yet some modern historians argue Zeno implies something even more provocative. Perhaps medieval Asian explorers undertook secret maritime voyages themselves, or at least directly interacted with navigators from distant lands like Africa or Europe. Notably, the presence of African landmarks, such as the Nile River and East African ports, raises questions difficult to explain through indirect trade alone. Some researchers reference the famous expeditions of the Chinese admiral Jing He, who in the early 15th century commanded immense fleets that traversed the Indian Ocean and reached as far as the eastern coast of Africa. An even bolder hypothesis asks whether Chinese or Korean sailors could have journeyed beyond Africa, possibly even to Europe, or into the uncharted southern seas. Regardless of its exact sources, the Zeno map undeniably demonstrates that Asians possessed far more extensive geographical knowledge than Western historians traditionally acknowledge. It is vivid proof that the story of global geographic exploration was not exclusively European, but rather included significant contributions from other civilizations, particularly those in East Asia, whose achievements have yet to be fully recognized or understood. Just as Zeno opened our eyes to previously unknown global connections, another ancient map from the 12th century further reveals the astonishing depth of geographical knowledge possessed by the medieval Arab world, the Tabula Rogeriana. Long before Europeans began their famed age of exploration, Arab civilization already boasted an extraordinary wealth of geographic insight.
Perhaps the clearest testament to this intellectual pinnacle is the Tabula Rogeriana, created in 1154 by the renowned Arab geographer al-Idrisi. This map not only represented the advanced understanding of the medieval world, but also served as compelling proof that Islamic scholarship was centuries ahead of its European counterparts. The Tabula Rogeriana, also known as the Book of Roger, was commissioned by King Roger II of Sicily. At that time, Sicily was a vibrant crossroads of European, North African, and Middle Eastern cultures, making it an ideal hub for intellectual exchange. Roger II, known for his passion for knowledge, summoned al-Idrisi from distant North Africa to compile all known geographical information into one unified world map, an unprecedented undertaking for that era. Al-Idrisi dedicated more than 15 years to researching and synthesizing data gathered from hundreds of scholars, merchants, sailors, and travelers from the Arab world, Africa, Europe, and Asia. The result was a map astonishingly detailed and accurate, almost unbelievable when viewed through the lens of the 12th century. Tabula Rogeriana didn't just depict familiar regions around the Mediterranean. It meticulously portrayed distant lands such as Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, East Africa, Central Asia, India, and even seas around China. A striking aspect of Tabula Rogeriana was its unique orientation, with the south placed at the top, a direct reversal of today's standard maps. To al-Idrisi and his Arab contemporaries, the south represented the direction of wisdom and the cradle of civilization. This inverted perspective offered an entirely different viewpoint, deeply reflecting the distinctive geographic worldview of medieval Islamic culture. Remarkably, Tabula Rogeriana also provided precise information about distances, climates, and local cultures. It carefully detailed trade routes connecting Africa to India, major European rivers like the Danube and Volga, and even regions still unknown or inaccurately mapped by Europeans. For example, the map accurately depicted East Africa and islands in the Indian Ocean, regions Europeans wouldn't reach until centuries later. Modern scholars have wondered how al-Idrisi could have gathered such extensive and precise geographical knowledge in the 12th century. The answer likely lies in the thriving networks of trade and cultural exchange linking the Islamic world with India and China via the Silk Road and maritime trade routes. Muslim merchants, sailors, and travelers meticulously collected geographical information, providing al-Idrisi with a wealth of data from which he crafted this remarkable map. Yet the Tabula Rogeriana was more than just a map. It was also an extensive geographical encyclopedia containing hundreds of pages of detailed descriptions about local cultures, economies, and histories. Al-Idrisi carefully documented everything from indigenous customs and local products to geographic features such as mountains, rivers, and climates.
This made Tabula Rogeriana an unparalleled source of geographic and anthropological knowledge in medieval times, far surpassing contemporary European records. Regrettably, this extraordinary map remained largely unknown in Western Europe until the 16th century. Cultural isolation and religious prejudice in medieval Europe prevented historians there from accessing this rich intellectual resource for centuries. Only when copies of Tabula Rogeriana re-entered Europe through Renaissance scholars and merchants did the Western world begin to understand just how far they had fallen behind the ancient Arab civilization's geographical expertise.
They were also faced with a puzzling question. How could ancient cartographers pinpoint longitude so accurately without any access to precision instruments such as marine chronometers? For centuries, accurately determining longitude, east-west positioning, was one of navigation's greatest challenges. While latitude, north-south positioning, could be reliably calculated using the Sun or Polaris, the North Star, longitude remained nearly impossible to determine without highly accurate marine clocks. Only in the mid-18th century, when John Harrison introduced his revolutionary marine chronometer in 1761, did navigators finally solve this problem conclusively. Yet ancient maps like those by Piri Reis or Oronteus Finaeus clearly demonstrate that precise longitudinal measurements were understood centuries earlier. Piri Reis, for instance, in his famous 1513 map, accurately depicted the longitudinal positions of distant regions like South America and Antarctica, areas European explorers had not yet thoroughly visited. How could these early cartographers achieve such astounding precision without modern instruments? One compelling hypothesis suggests ancient civilizations utilized advanced astronomical techniques now lost to history. Scholars propose that ancient observers might have relied on solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, or complex celestial movements to determine longitude by noting time differences between astronomical events observed from widely separated locations. However, this explanation presents significant practical hurdles. Precisely recording such astronomical events would require simultaneous observations from distant points around the globe, seemingly impossible with ancient communication methods. Another intriguing explanation is that ancient mariners possessed secretive methods for determining longitude, possibly handed down from even earlier, now forgotten civilizations. In fact, historical evidence indicates that ancient Greek astronomers, particularly Hipparchus, attempted to establish a longitude measuring system based on celestial observations. Various Egyptian, Babylonian, and Greek texts also hint at profound astronomical knowledge far beyond our conventional understanding. The extraordinary navigational achievements of the ancient Polynesians provide another fascinating example. Thousands of years ago, these skilled seafarers traversed vast expanses of the Pacific Ocean, successfully reaching islands thousands of kilometers apart without modern navigational tools. Recent studies reveal that they guided themselves by carefully observing stars, ocean currents, and even migratory patterns of seabirds. Could other ancient civilizations have used similar, perhaps even more precise methods to determine longitude? We must also consider other intriguing possibilities, such as methods based on magnetism or Earth's magnetic field, techniques entirely unknown to modern science. Civilizations like ancient Egypt, China, and the Olmec of Mesoamerica may have possessed sophisticated knowledge of Earth's magnetism. Indeed, archaeological artifacts like ancient magnetic stones and primitive compasses found across the globe suggest that ancient peoples might have used Earth's magnetic field to navigate and pinpoint their exact locations with astounding accuracy. Whatever their methods, these ancient maps stand as undeniable evidence of humanity's timeless ability to measure longitude with precision, an accomplishment that continues to puzzle and inspire modern science today.
We've explored how ancient civilizations might have accurately determined longitude before the invention of precise clocks. Another fascinating question arises.
Could ancient people have possessed even more astonishing geographical and astronomical insights? Truths intentionally or unintentionally overlooked by conventional history. Indeed, beyond the mystery of longitude, ancient civilizations clearly understood an extraordinary truth about our planet: that Earth was a sphere centuries before Galileo or Copernicus revolutionized European thought. This revelation brings us to another captivating yet deeply controversial mystery within academic circles. Why did ancient maps depict Earth clearly as a globe, when, according to mainstream historical teachings, such advanced understanding supposedly did not yet exist? Compelling evidence of this knowledge can be found on ancient Greek and Egyptian maps, where Earth was often clearly portrayed as spherical. In fact, the Greek mathematician and astronomer Eratosthenes, as far back as the 3rd century BCE, astonishingly calculated Earth's circumference using nothing more than the shadows cast by the sun, with an accuracy only about 1% different from modern measurements. Clearly, ancient Greeks were fully aware of Earth's spherical shape, completely contradicting the popular medieval European misconception of a flat Earth. Yet this advanced understanding wasn't limited solely to ancient Greece. The 12th century Arab geographer al-Idrisi, creator of the famed Tabula Rogeriana, also depicted the Earth explicitly as a sphere, meticulously illustrating lands across Africa, Europe, and Asia within a globe-like framework. Al-Idrisi specifically noted Earth as an enormous sphere surrounded by oceans, directly challenging prevailing European religious doctrines at the time. In ancient Asian civilizations as well, particularly in China and India, the concept of a spherical Earth predated the European Renaissance by many centuries. Ancient Chinese astronomers meticulously documented eclipses and other celestial events based explicitly on a spherical Earth model. Similarly, classical Indian texts such as the Surya Siddhanta and various Vedic scriptures depicted Earth as a sphere suspended in space, even indirectly referencing gravitational forces long before Newton articulated the concept. Yet a profound mystery remains. How were these ancient scholars so certain about Earth's spherical nature without ever seeing it from space, as we can today? The answer may lie in their extraordinary observational skills and keen astronomical insights. Observing ships gradually disappearing below the horizon as they sailed away naturally implied a curved surface rather than a flat plane. Additionally, eclipses provided clear evidence that Earth must be spherical, as only a spherical object could cast the consistent curved shadows observed upon the Moon. Furthermore, some ancient maps clearly depicted Earth with curved latitude and longitude lines, remarkably similar to modern cartographic techniques. A prominent example is the map created by Claudius Ptolemy, the renowned Greek geographer who lived in the 2nd century CE. Not only did Ptolemy explicitly represent Earth as spherical,
But he also developed an advanced system of geographic coordinates with distinct meridian and parallel lines, something feasible only with a clear understanding of Earth's spherical shape. Unfortunately, such remarkable knowledge largely vanished from mainstream European thought throughout the medieval period. Due to religious dogma and societal biases, centuries passed with Europeans clinging to the misguided belief in a flat Earth as absolute truth. Only during the Renaissance, as ancient Greek and Arab texts resurfaced, did Europeans gradually re-embrace the reality their ancestors had already discovered. Earth is not only spherical, but also orbits the sun. Perhaps it's this historical loss that drives our curiosity today, inspiring deeper investigations into mysterious ancient maps. By doing so, we may uncover long-hidden truths about the ancient world, truths with the power to profoundly reshape our understanding of history as we know it. As we've marveled at ancient maps accurately depicting a spherical Earth, another profound question arises. How did ancient civilizations create maps of astonishing geographic precision?
Accuracy far beyond the technological capabilities known to their era. Could there have existed some hidden source of knowledge or secret methodology from the past that remains unknown to us today? To explore this mystery, let's revisit the remarkable Piri Reis Map of 1513. What stunned researchers most was the map's exceptionally precise depiction of Antarctica's coastline, even capturing detailed topographical features hidden beneath thick ice sheets. Even more astonishingly, it portrays Antarctica entirely ice-free, a condition modern science confirms existed at least 6,000 years ago. This clearly exceeds the observational capabilities of any known civilization from that period. So how could Piri Reis, a 16th-century Turkish admiral, have obtained geographical details confirmed by satellite radar technology only in the mid-20th century? The intrigue doesn't end with Piri Reis. Oronteus Finaeus Map of 1531 raised even greater astonishment, depicting Antarctica's terrain with nearly perfect accuracy. 20th-century researchers, using advanced ice-penetrating radar, verified that the geographical details illustrated by Oronteus Finaeus were remarkably precise, seemingly impossible if he relied solely on conventional maritime observations of his time. This level of accuracy leads us to wonder if Finaeus drew from ancient lost sources, or perhaps even from a prehistoric civilization equipped with advanced technology, one that may have vanished entirely from our historical records. Similarly, the 1737 Bois map provides compelling evidence of ancient cartographic brilliance. Philippe Bois depicted complex underwater geological formations, including submerged mountain ranges and oceanic plateaus, details that only became scientifically confirmed through modern deep-sea explorations in the mid-20th century. Clearly identifying such structures was beyond the capabilities of an 18th-century geographer. This raises the inevitable question: from where did Bois derive such extraordinary information? Even the 1402 Korean Kangnido map contains information astonishingly ahead of its time, accurately depicting Africa, Europe, and distant lands with a precision that left contemporary Western scholars astonished. Similarly,
The 12th century Tabula Rogeriana by Al-Idrisi meticulously documented regions largely unknown or unexplored by Europeans at the time. Although both maps drew upon commercial exchanges and astronomical observations, their remarkable accuracy continues to perplex modern academia and prompts questions about the true origin of their knowledge. Ultimately, these ancient maps stand as powerful testimonies of lost wisdom, leaving us to ponder whether forgotten civilizations once possessed advanced geographical knowledge whose sources remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. When historians study ancient maps, like those by Piri Reis, Oronteus Finaeus, or even early Asian cartographers, they're consistently astonished by the remarkably precise depictions of South America, a continent that mainstream history insists only became widely known to Europeans after Columbus's famous 1492 voyage. More astounding still is that these maps don't merely outline coastlines or prominent landmarks. They provide geographic details so accurate that we must seriously ask, who provided the data to these ancient cartographers? One of the most striking examples is the 1513 Piri Reis Map, drawn by the Turkish admiral Piri Reis. This map not only accurately depicts the eastern coast of South America, but also details inland features such as major river deltas, dense forests, and particularly small islands known only to those who had personally explored the region. This is astonishing because at the time Piri Reis produced his map, Europeans had barely begun exploring the Caribbean islands and the northern coasts of South America, let alone conducted extensive expeditions deep inland. So how did Piri Reis obtain such detailed and accurate information? In his marginal notes, Piri Reis acknowledged consulting around 20 older maps, including very ancient sources dating back to the time of Alexandria. This has led researchers to speculate that his South American data might have originated from ancient civilizations that had encountered these lands long before Columbus. Some historians propose that civilizations such as ancient Egypt, Phoenicia, or even the Vikings may have ventured across the Atlantic, gathered geographic data on this new continent, and passed down their findings through generations, only to be lost, forgotten, or deliberately concealed. Another compelling example is the 1507 Waldseemüller map, created by German cartographer Martin Waldseemüller, which also depicts South America with perplexing accuracy. Waldseemüller famously named this newly mapped continent America, after explorer Amerigo Vespucci. Even more remarkable is the fact that Waldseemüller portrayed South America as a distinctly separate continent, clearly separated from Asia and other lands, a concept still hotly debated by European scholars at that time. Could Waldseemüller, too, have had access to much older geographic records, or perhaps even details from secret, undocumented expeditions? This question points us towards an intriguing hypothesis. Perhaps ancient Phoenician merchants or even ancient Egyptians undertook transatlantic voyages, collected detailed geographic data, and kept it carefully preserved in ancient repositories, such as the legendary Library of Alexandria. Indeed, modern archaeologists have discovered puzzling artifacts like Phoenician pottery fragments in Brazil and Argentina, findings rare but impossible to explain unless we accept the possibility of pre-Columbian contact. Moreover, scholars frequently cite indigenous South American legends, oral traditions, and rock carvings describing mysterious visitors, tall, fair-skinned strangers arriving from across the ocean. Could these accounts be indirect evidence of ancient voyages made by Europeans, North Africans, or Middle Easterners to South America thousands of years before Columbus? Regardless of the exact origin of this information, it's clear the history of South America's discovery is far more complex than conventionally taught. Ancient maps with baffling precision, like those of Piri Reis and Waldseemüller, were no mere accidents. Instead, they stand as vivid evidence of a secret history, a narrative of exploration and knowledge that mainstream history has yet to fully recognize. The mysteries surrounding ancient map data depicting South America lead us to one of history's boldest and most captivating hypotheses. Could this extraordinary geographical knowledge have originated from an ancient legendary civilization, Atlantis? Mentioned by Plato over 2,000 years ago, Atlantis remains shrouded in historical mystery, captivating imaginations ever since. Atlantis first appeared in Plato's dialogues around 360 BC. In his works Timaeus and Critias, Plato described Atlantis as a vast island situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, today identified as the Strait of Gibraltar. He depicted Atlantis as a flourishing civilization, remarkably advanced for its time, with extraordinary maritime abilities, architectural achievements, and extensive geographical knowledge. Given such vivid descriptions, scholars have long debated whether Atlantis actually existed, and if so, how it vanished. More importantly, could Atlantis's advanced geographic knowledge and detailed maps be the original source for the astonishingly accurate data found in ancient maps like those of Piri Reis or Oronteus Finaeus? One significant reason Atlantis often figures in theories about ancient maps is the civilization's abrupt disappearance. According to Plato, Atlantis was submerged beneath the ocean overnight by a catastrophic event.
Many contemporary researchers speculate that before their destruction, the Atlanteans, possessing sophisticated geographic science, may have preserved detailed maps of the world they explored, passing this knowledge secretly through generations of scholars, traders, or ancient secret societies. Some modern researchers further propose that these invaluable Atlantean documents might have once resided in Egypt's legendary Library of Alexandria. Renowned as the ancient world's greatest repository of knowledge, the library held countless manuscripts and maps from across civilizations. Among these treasures could have been copies of Atlantean maps depicting distant lands. Though devastating fires and historical turmoil eventually destroyed the library, some precious manuscripts might have survived, quietly circulating until they reached Renaissance cartographers such as Piri Reis and Oronteus Finaeus. This speculation isn't entirely unfounded. Indeed, Piri Reis explicitly noted in his map's margins that he used numerous older maps, some originating from Alexandria and other ancient Mediterranean libraries. Could Atlantean maps, created by a civilization Plato claimed traded extensively across the Atlantic and possibly even explored South America and other distant regions, have been among them? Supporting this theory, Philippe Bois's 1737 map further strengthens the Atlantis hypothesis by clearly depicting a large continent submerged beneath the ocean, remarkably similar to descriptions of Atlantis's dramatic disappearance. This extraordinary accuracy leads many scholars to ask whether Bois relied on lost Atlantean maps or at least ancient sources preserved secretly within medieval libraries or hidden societies.
Even civilizations like ancient Egypt and Greece shared legends about a great western land, a mighty empire suddenly submerged by a cataclysmic event. Although considered mythological, these stories contained remarkably consistent details, difficult to dismiss when investigating the mysterious geographic data in ancient maps. Additionally, some scholars suggest that before their final destruction, Atlanteans may have dispersed their knowledge globally, particularly to regions like Egypt and South America. Legends and inscriptions from Mayan and Aztec cultures in Central America, as well as enigmatic carvings from the Andes in South America, might represent remnants of a far older advanced civilization. Could it be that Atlanteans on distant voyages shared their precious geographic knowledge and maps with these civilizations long before their legendary homes sank beneath the waves forever? Perhaps tracing Atlantis through mysterious ancient maps brings us closer to truths hidden deep within history, truths powerful enough to completely transform our understanding of ourselves and the ancient world. Yet before fully unveiling Atlantis's secrets, we must confront another great mystery. Could other lost continents, such as Lemuria or Mu, also be the forgotten sources of geographical data embedded in enigmatic ancient maps? If Atlantis sparks curiosity about ancient geographic knowledge, Lemuria and Mu compel us to dig even deeper. Could these legendary continents represent forgotten reservoirs of knowledge? Knowledge that found its way into puzzling maps like those of Piri Reis, Oronteus Finaeus, or Gouache. Lemuria was first proposed in the 19th century as a scientific hypothesis intended to explain why lemurs and other primates appeared in distant regions such as Madagascar and India. Scientists suggested an ancient continent once linked India and Africa, but later submerged due to geological upheaval. Gradually, Lemuria evolved into a captivating legend describing an advanced and enlightened civilization existing long before ancient Egypt or Greece arose. Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, Pacific Island legends speak of Mu, a vast continent at the center of the ocean, home to a flourishing civilization ultimately submerged beneath the waves by a cataclysmic disaster. Like Atlantis, Mu was believed to possess sophisticated maritime technologies and advanced astronomical knowledge that far surpassed other known ancient cultures. What's truly remarkable is that both Lemuria and Mu appear in ancient legends from civilizations separated by thousands of kilometers. Yet these tales share striking similarities. Ancient Indian texts reference Lemuria as a mystical homeland, the cradle of human civilization, rich with profound astronomical and geographical wisdom. Likewise, Pacific Island cultures in Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia tell vivid tales of Mu, describing it as a land that vanished beneath the ocean, but once transmitted precise maps of distant seas, remote islands, and even faraway continents. These legends have prompted modern researchers to wonder, could maps like those by Piri Reis, Oronteus Finaeus, or Gouache actually derive from geographic data originally provided by these lost continents? Might their creators have accessed precious information from Lemuria or Mu, preserved secretly through ancient libraries, enigmatic merchants, or secretive global societies? Some scholars even propose that mysterious underwater ruins recently discovered in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, such as the immense submerged stone structures of Yonaguni near Japan or underwater ruins near India, might be tangible evidence for the existence of Lemuria and Mu. These underwater remnants could once have been thriving centers of culture, science, and technology, where ancient inhabitants gathered and passed down essential geographic knowledge of the world. In addition, curious archaeological findings along South America's coast, such as enigmatic stone carvings in Peru or Ecuador, have occasionally been suggested as indirect proof of ancient contact between indigenous peoples and inhabitants from these sunken continents. Local legends describing mysterious gods or giant fair-skinned visitors arriving by sea to share wisdom further hint at the possibility that civilizations like Lemuria or Mu dispatched explorers around the globe carrying detailed maps later cherished by medieval cartographers. Although mainstream scholars may not fully accept these hypotheses, they undeniably create compelling intellectual possibilities, suggesting that world exploration history may be far more complex than previously imagined. Ancient maps depicting regions submerged beneath oceans, remote continents, or lands allegedly unknown at the time seem strongly to indicate that their geographic data originated from older, deeper, and possibly far more advanced civilizations than the classical cultures we traditionally acknowledge. The mysteries surrounding lost civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu inevitably lead us towards a deeper question. How could such advanced geographical knowledge survive and pass through generations, especially when great civilizations repeatedly vanish due to natural disasters or wars? One compelling theory suggests that these precious secrets weren't openly stored in public libraries or royal archives. Instead, they were carefully protected by secret societies, powerful enigmatic groups that operated quietly behind the scenes throughout medieval Europe. In the shadows of medieval history, secret societies such as the Knights Templar, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, and even smaller but equally mysterious groups like the Hermetic Brotherhood quietly thrived, safeguarding knowledge deemed forbidden by contemporary religious and political powers.
Among these guarded secrets were ancient maps detailing remote lands, mysterious continents, or regions officially labeled as taboo at the time. Maps held securely by these clandestine organizations. Founded in the early 12th century, the Knights Templar began as a military and religious order, originally tasked with protecting pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. But over time, they rapidly evolved into one of Europe's most influential organizations, controlling vast networks of castles, secret libraries, and hidden repositories filled with rare ancient manuscripts. Many scholars believe the Templars gained access to extraordinarily precise maps depicting previously unknown territories, possibly inherited from older sources such as Alexandria's legendary library, or even remnants from lost civilizations like Atlantis itself. Historical records also indicate that the Knights Templar conducted secret voyages to distant lands, possibly including regions across the Atlantic like South America or remote Pacific islands. These expeditions weren't merely searches for wealth or power. They aimed at gathering precise geographical knowledge, enriching secret archives and map collections hidden in monasteries and fortresses.
When the Templars faced suppression by the Pope and French king in the early 14th century, most of their invaluable knowledge and maps vanished mysteriously. However, many modern historians speculate that before their demise, the Templars managed to disperse their hidden knowledge to other secretive organizations, particularly the Freemasons and smaller secret societies scattered throughout Europe. Thus, these remarkable ancient maps and geographical secrets continued to be preserved, carefully hidden, and passed through generations. The Freemasons, who rose to prominence later in the 17th and 18th centuries, are often said to have inherited extensive knowledge from earlier secret societies. Historians have noted that early Masonic members likely held ancient manuscripts, including astonishingly accurate maps detailing lands officially undiscovered at the time. Famous explorers like Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, and Vasco da Gama reportedly maintained close connections with such secret societies, fueling speculation that they received vital secret geographic information for their groundbreaking voyages. Another mysterious organization emerging in the 17th century, the Rosicrucians, claimed to safeguard esoteric knowledge stretching back to ancient Egypt, Greece, and other early civilizations. Members asserted they possessed detailed documents describing the ancient world, sunken continents like Atlantis or Lemuria, and even distant lands unknown to medieval Europe. These secrets were carefully guarded by Rosicrucians in private castles, secluded monasteries, or hidden libraries far from the scrutiny of church or public authorities. The existence and activities of these medieval secret societies created a hidden network of knowledge, preserving and quietly transmitting invaluable geographic secrets through Europe's darkest historical periods. Such forbidden wisdom likely served as the foundation for remarkable ancient maps, like those crafted by Piri Reis, Oronteus Finaeus, or Waldseemüller, maps that continue to astonish us today. Although definitive physical evidence remains elusive, the undeniable connections between medieval secret societies and mysterious ancient maps raise profound questions. Is the history we've been taught truly complete and truthful? Or has it been intentionally concealed, shaped, and controlled by powerful, secretive groups throughout generations? As we uncover mysteries surrounding medieval secret societies and continue grappling with the puzzling origins of ancient maps, we're compelled to journey even further back in time, beyond the grandeur of ancient Egypt itself, in search of answers. For decades, scholars have theorized that long before Egypt's pyramids rose, or before the Sumerian civilization emerged along the Euphrates River, other great cycles of civilization flourished, now lost entirely in the mists of history. It is these forgotten civilizations that may have provided the mysterious source of geographic accuracy found in ancient maps. Accuracy far beyond the observational capabilities of known ancient peoples. Many ancient maps, especially the famed Piri Reis Map, clearly indicate that their creators relied upon far older sources passed down through countless generations. Piri Reis himself noted in his map's margins that he had consulted extremely ancient documents from the Library of Alexandria and other obscure archives, the exact age of which even he didn't know. Researchers suggest these ancient sources could originate from prehistoric civilizations that once achieved extraordinary levels of scientific and technological sophistication, only to vanish abruptly due to cataclysmic natural disasters or profound geological upheavals. Recent archaeological discoveries, particularly in the Middle East and North Africa, lend compelling support to this hypothesis. Geological studies reveal that around 12,000 years ago, Earth experienced a series of devastating events. most notably the Younger Dryas, a sudden climate shift causing catastrophic floods and widespread environmental changes. These events might have wiped out nearly all advanced civilizations existing at the time. Such civilizations likely possessed geographic and scientific capabilities exceeding our imagination, potentially enabling them to create remarkably precise maps of global continents and oceans. One powerful piece of evidence supporting this theory is the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, dating back approximately 11,500 years, predating any officially recorded civilization. This remarkable site suggests that prehistoric people were far more advanced than mere hunter-gatherers, displaying sophisticated social structures, advanced architectural techniques, and possibly highly developed astronomical and geographical knowledge. Furthermore, ancient Egyptian, Greek, and Babylonian traditions repeatedly mention a lost golden age, a distant era when humanity possessed profound wisdom about the cosmos, Earth, and distant lands across vast oceans. Ancient Egyptian inscriptions, like those found at the Temple of Edfu, even recount an era thousands of years before the first pharaohs ruled Egypt. Many historians speculate that these so-called gods might actually represent survivors of prehistoric civilizations, individuals who carried precious geographic knowledge, passing it down to successive generations. Notably, ancient Egyptian, Babylonian, and Sumerian texts frequently reference detailed maps and precise geographic information seemingly impossible to obtain without advanced technology or sophisticated oceanic exploration. These ancient writings occasionally hint at faraway lands to the west or south, including islands or vast continents that supposedly existed but later vanished beneath rising seas following major natural upheavals. Could the mysterious ancient maps we study today, such as those by Oronteus Finaeus or Boischet, actually be copies or adaptations of secret geographical data dating back to pre-Egyptian times? Sources older than any known surviving texts? Perhaps this precious knowledge was carefully transmitted across generations through hidden libraries, secret societies, or mysterious individuals throughout history who recognized its true value and safeguarded it from destruction or loss. Some modern scholars suggest these prehistoric civilization cycles might explain the extraordinary accuracy of ancient maps depicting ice-free Antarctica, submerged continents beneath the ocean, or distant regions like South America, geographic information only accessible to civilizations with advanced maritime capabilities and profound geographic understanding. Together, archaeological evidence, folklore, and ancient writings weave an entirely new narrative of humanity's past, not a linear story of continual progress, but rather a sequence of civilization's rises and falls, cycles of enlightenment and collapse, brilliance and loss.
Within the gaps between these cycles, crucial knowledge of geography, astronomy, and technology was carefully preserved and secretly passed along, eventually surfacing in the enigmatic ancient maps that continue to captivate and challenge us today. The story of pre-Egyptian maps and remnants of forgotten civilization cycles isn't merely mystical speculation or fanciful imagination. Instead, it serves as a powerful reminder that humanity's past remains filled with mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp. To get closer to these truths, perhaps we must expand our perspective, courageously step into territories filled with seemingly unanswerable questions, and accept that history's deepest secrets still lie quietly beneath layers of time. Among these secrets,
A remarkable and nearly unbelievable aspect emerges from ancient maps, such as those created by Piri Reis, Oronteus Finaeus, or even the tabula Rogeriana. Their uncanny accuracy suggests geographic perspectives achievable only from high above, possibly even from space itself. This provocative observation leads us to a compelling hypothesis. Could ancient civilizations have possessed advanced technologies capable of aerial observation, or at least reached technological heights sufficient to produce maps astonishingly accurate even by modern standards? In fact, many geographic details depicted on ancient maps are impossible to obtain solely from ground-level observation or conventional maritime exploration. For example, the ice-free Antarctic coastlines vividly depicted by Piri Reis and Oronteus Finaeus have only recently been verified using satellite radar technology developed in the 20th century. How could ancient cartographers living hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, acquire such elevated viewpoints without aerial or orbital technology? This question isn't merely a whimsical theory. Archaeological evidence across ancient cultures, such as those in Egypt, Sumer, Maya, Aztec, and particularly the Nazca civilization of Peru, strongly implied they possessed concepts or technologies related to aerial observation, or at least found ways to view Earth from a height. The massive geoglyphs on Peru's Nazca Plateau present compelling evidence. These immense designs are clearly identifiable only from high above, typically viewed from aircraft or satellites. Far more than artistic expressions, the Nazca lines display astonishing accuracy in scale, proportion, and geographic positioning. Researchers speculate the Nazca people might have used balloons or similar aerial devices to oversee the creation of these figures. Yet this theory still faces significant obstacles, chief among them the lack of concrete archaeological evidence for ancient airborne technology. Ancient Egypt also left intriguing clues hinting at aerial perspectives. Researchers point out that the pyramids of Giza, as well as other monumental Egyptian structures, precisely reflect celestial constellations, alignments most apparent when viewed from above or even from space. Could ancient Egyptian architects have planned these colossal constructions using an overhead perspective, perhaps facilitated by aerial technology unknown to modern archaeology? Even in Asia, ancient Hindu texts from India, especially the Mahabharata, explicitly describe vimanas, flying machines operated by humans, capable of flight and even space travel. Although many historians categorize these descriptions as myth or folklore, the detailed and systematic nature of these accounts demands serious consideration. Might ancient civilizations have actually possessed technologies far more advanced than traditionally assumed? Similarly, civilizations in Central America, notably the Maya and Aztec, constructed pyramids and temples arranged in intricate geometric patterns that only reveal their completeness from above. Teotihuacan in Mexico, with its precisely aligned avenues and pyramids, presents a particularly striking example of geometric precision difficult to achieve without some form of aerial observation. Even in Asia, ancient Hindu texts from India, especially the Mahabharata, explicitly describe vimanas, flying machines operated by humans, capable of flight and even space travel. Although many historians categorize these descriptions as myth or folklore, the detailed and systematic nature of these accounts demands serious consideration. Might ancient civilizations have actually possessed technologies far more advanced than traditionally assumed? Some researchers even propose that these ancient civilizations possessed not merely airborne capabilities, but perhaps even low Earth orbit mapping techniques, technologies only rediscovered in the 20th century. A few bold scholars further speculate that lost prehistoric civilizations such as Atlantis or Lemuria may have attained spaceflight-level technologies, using these capabilities to collect detailed planetary data. Preserving this knowledge within hidden libraries or secret societies and transmitting it clandestinely through generations until it reached medieval cartographers and explorers. Naturally, these hypotheses remain controversial and face significant skepticism from mainstream science, primarily because we currently lack definitive physical evidence of such technologies. Yet the undeniable existence of extraordinarily accurate ancient maps compels us to question seriously humanity's historical, technological, and scientific achievements. Perhaps ancient civilizations once possessed sophisticated means of aerial observation through methods we don't yet understand. They may have utilized balloons, monumental towers, or extremely refined astronomical instruments, creating geographic perspectives remarkably similar to those we obtain today through modern satellite technology. If ancient maps like those of Piri Reis and Oronteus Finaeus have amazed researchers with their mysterious aerial perspectives, one of the greatest unanswered questions remains. Where are the original documents and the most secret sources behind these extraordinary maps today? On our journey to seek these answers, one particular place consistently emerges. A location rumored to hold the greatest historical secrets ever known, the Vatican Archives, arguably the most secretive and closely guarded repository in the world, potentially containing the most valuable ancient maps humanity has ever seen.
Founded in the 17th century, the Vatican Archives, Archivum Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum, holds an immense collection of documents relating to European history, the Catholic Church, and many other sensitive topics. Located deep beneath Vatican City and protected by stringent security measures, the archives are accessible only to a select few granted special permission. For centuries, rumors have persisted that hidden within this secretive vault are extraordinary ancient maps and geographic documents capable of radically altering humanity's understanding of history. Suspicions about the Vatican holding secret maps aren't unfounded. Throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the Catholic Church wielded enormous power over Europe and always sought to control and secure access to groundbreaking discoveries, especially geographical explorations. Notable voyages by explorers like Columbus, Magellan, and Vasco da Gama, though funded by various European powers, were closely monitored by the Vatican. It is highly plausible that the most valuable maps produced by these explorers, along with ancient geographic records inherited from lost civilizations, were securely collected and safeguarded within secret vaults beneath the Vatican.
One theory that has captured significant scholarly interest is that the Vatican archives may contain documents originating from the legendary Library of Alexandria, the ancient world's largest and most significant repository of knowledge, tragically destroyed in antiquity. It is speculated that before Alexandria's devastating fires, many precious geographical manuscripts, astronomical records, and ancient maps were secretly transferred to Rome for preservation. These documents might include rare maps of lost civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, or even undiscovered lands never officially known to modern history. Furthermore, the Vatican archives are also thought to preserve documents and maps once held by medieval secret societies, most notably those belonging to the Knights Templar. When the Knights Templar was suppressed by Pope Clement V in the early 14th century, their vast treasures and manuscripts mysteriously vanished. Many researchers believe their most valuable records, including detailed world maps and documentation of lost continents, were transferred covertly to the Vatican, hidden away from public scrutiny to avoid potential religious upheaval or threats to established authority. Indirect evidence suggests the Vatican indeed holds such secret documents. Historically, the Vatican archives have admitted possession of controversial materials, including confidential letters concerning Galileo's trial, secret agreements with historical political regimes, and documentation of unexplained phenomena forbidden from public release. These revelations further strengthen the suspicion that the Vatican similarly holds secret geographic maps and manuscripts capable of proving the existence of prehistoric advanced civilizations or even ancient human capabilities for aerial or orbital observation. In 1929, the Vatican archives partially opened their doors to selected researchers, yet most of the oldest and deepest sections remain completely sealed off from the public. Some historians who have briefly gained restricted access have reported glimpsing astonishing materials, although they were never allowed to publish or replicate them. These vague accounts and limited disclosures have only heightened the aura of mystery surrounding the Vatican archives. Modern theories have become even more daring, suggesting the Vatican archives might hold evidence proving that ancient humans had the capability for long-distance oceanic voyages centuries before officially recorded history acknowledges. Such revelations could profoundly alter our entire understanding of humanity's past, particularly regarding the roles of ancient civilizations mysteriously erased from history. It is plausible that the Vatican continues to keep these documents secret, not merely for security reasons, but because releasing them could completely overturn long-held religious doctrines, historical perspectives, and established power structures carefully constructed over centuries. Admitting that advanced ancient civilizations existed, or that humans possessed ancient aerial mapping capabilities, could significantly undermine core beliefs about the uniqueness of major world religions, potentially leading to ideological chaos and social disruption. If the Vatican archives represent humanity's greatest hidden repository, carefully safeguarding some of the most valuable and sensitive maps ever known, there exists another darker chapter of history, the deliberate destruction of countless ancient maps, completely erased from human memory. History reveals numerous instances when profound and challenging geographical knowledge was intentionally obliterated, viewed as threats by powerful political, religious, or governing forces. One of the most devastating losses occurred with the burning of the legendary Library of Alexandria around 48 BCE. This library once housed hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, including innumerable maps depicting the world, unknown continents, and undiscovered lands. Although historical accounts often describe this fire as an accidental consequence of Julius Caesar's warfare, many contemporary historians argue that political and religious factions deliberately exploited the chaos to destroy documents considered dangerously insightful about ancient geography and knowledge. Another infamous event unfolded in 391 CE when Emperor Theodosius I ordered the closure and destruction of pagan temples throughout the Roman Empire, resulting in countless libraries containing priceless manuscripts being burned. This event not only erased philosophical and scientific texts, but permanently eliminated numerous maps depicting regions unknown to the mainstream world, intended to solidify Christianity's dominance. This act of destruction inflicted an irreparable loss upon humanity's geographical understanding. Similarly, in the early 14th century, Pope Clement V and King Philip IV of France suppressed the Knights Templar, an order believed to have guarded secret maps containing sensitive knowledge about distant lands, information deemed threatening to the authority of the Church and European monarchies. During this purge, vast amounts of geographic materials, maps, and documents mysteriously vanished or were deliberately destroyed to prevent them from falling into rival hands. While some believe the Vatican seized most critical documents, others argue many were intentionally destroyed to prevent them from falling into rival hands. Beyond Europe, history recounts that in 213 BCE, China's Emperor Qin Shi Huang ordered the burning of all books and maps contradicting the official imperial doctrine. This notorious event not only destroyed vast cultural knowledge, but also wiped out critical geographical records, including rare maps documenting early Chinese explorations into distant lands westward and even across the Pacific Ocean. Even during Europe's age of discovery in the 15th and 16th century, many valuable maps faced censorship or intentional destruction by political forces seeking exclusive advantages in colonial expansion. Renowned explorers such as Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, and Francis Drake have been accused of deliberately destroying or hiding accurate maps to prevent rivals and competitors from accessing strategically important geographic knowledge. Another theory suggests that indigenous civilizations, such as the Maya and Aztec, endured similar fates during the Spanish conquest. When the Spaniards invaded Central America, they systematically destroyed ancient libraries filled with priceless astronomical and geographical records, including highly detailed maps of South America, North America,
and Pacific Islands. This deliberate destruction aimed at eliminating indigenous knowledge to secure colonial dominance and exploitation. Notably, even within the Vatican archives, previously discussed as repositories of secret knowledge, certain documents are believed to have been intentionally destroyed or permanently hidden due to their religious and political sensitivity. Such materials may have contained records about prehistoric civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, or secret lands capable of destabilizing church authority. Consequently, it is likely the Vatican deliberately destroyed or permanently concealed numerous ancient maps to preserve ideological and religious stability. These purposeful acts of destruction have stripped humanity of countless precious insights into the ancient world, resulting in a fragmented, confusing, and incomplete historical record. Inevitably, we must question what critical geographical knowledge was contained within these intentionally destroyed ancient maps that powerful historical authorities went to such lengths to eliminate. Had these maps survived, how significantly different might our understanding of ancient history and civilization be today? The deliberate disappearance of valuable ancient maps from history isn't just a tale of simple destruction. It's a story of power, control over knowledge, and the manipulation of geographical information. Geography has always been deeply intertwined with economic, political, and especially religious interests. To understand why countless ancient maps and crucial geographical documents were systematically hidden or destroyed, we must identify those responsible for censoring and manipulating geographical knowledge throughout history. One of the most influential forces in the censorship of geographic knowledge has been powerful religious institutions, most notably the Catholic Church during the Middle Ages and Renaissance.
The Church's authority extended far beyond spiritual matters, infiltrating virtually every aspect of society, including science and geography. It tightly controlled maps and geographical documents, suppressing or destroying any information contradicting orthodox religious doctrine or anything that could challenge church teachings. A clear example occurred in the 16th and 17th centuries when astronomers like Galileo Galilei and Giordano Bruno presented ideas about the cosmos and geography that opposed Christian doctrine. Galileo was forced to publicly recant his belief that the Earth orbited the Sun, while his geographical and astronomical writings were censored or destroyed. Giordano Bruno faced an even grimmer fate, being burned at the stake for advocating similarly advanced scientific views. These incidents underscore how the Church decisively controlled and manipulated geographical and astronomical knowledge. Aside from religious authorities, feudal and royal governments have also played significant roles in censoring geographic information. Accurate maps of distant territories were valuable strategic assets, offering immense advantages in colonial expansion, exploration, and trade. European monarchies such as Spain, Portugal, and England deliberately concealed accurate maps of newly discovered lands to preserve their monopolies in trade and resource exploitation. Famous explorers such as Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan were obligated to sign secret agreements with their royal patrons, ensuring detailed geographic discoveries and maps would remain confidential, preventing rivals from accessing crucial information. European royal courts regularly censored, altered, or deliberately disseminated misleading geographic data to confuse their international competitors. Notably, 16th-century Portuguese maps intentionally distorted distances and locations to block European rivals from accessing strategic sea routes to Asia and South America. Beyond Europe, historical records show similar censorship in ancient China, particularly under the Ming and Qing dynasties. Despite Admiral Yuan He's remarkable 15th-century voyages to distant lands in East Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, the Ming court intentionally restricted and suppressed maps and detailed information from these journeys to limit international contact, enforce isolationist policies, and maintain internal political stability. Powerful secret societies such as the Knights Templar, Freemasons, and Rosicrucians also guarded geographic secrets. These groups tightly controlled the dissemination of geographic information, not merely to protect knowledge, but to preserve their own power and influence. They selectively revealed small portions of their valuable geographical insights only to trusted allies or at carefully chosen moments. During periods of conquest and colonization, European colonial empires like Spain and Britain purposefully censored indigenous geographical knowledge. Spanish conquerors systematically destroyed extensive Mayan, Aztec, and Inca libraries filled with astronomical and geographical manuscripts. Had these documents survived, our understanding of ancient American geography and history would likely be radically different today. Even in modern times, governments and international organizations continue to censor geographic information when deemed necessary. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union deliberately altered or withheld strategic military maps to safeguard political and military advantages. Today, governments still restrict satellite data and sensitive geographical information to protect national interests. All these examples demonstrate that censorship of geographical knowledge is inherently connected to maintaining power, economic interests, and societal control. By manipulating information about the world, geography, and distant territories, history's most powerful institutions have maintained dominance and authority. Thus, whenever we marvel at the astonishing accuracy of mysterious ancient maps, we must remember that these surviving documents represent only a fraction of a much larger narrative. Behind the lost maps, undiscovered lands, and censored geographical knowledge lies an extensive history of control, where religious institutions, royal governments, secret societies, and colonial empires deliberately shaped and distorted our understanding of the world to serve their own agendas. If the history of ancient maps has revealed a troubling pattern of deliberate censorship and destruction, World War II opened yet another mysterious chapter, one marked by the sudden and unexplained disappearance of countless maps and crucial geographical documents. Far from solely being a brutal struggle over territory and power, the Second World War was also a clandestine hunt for secret geographic knowledge, during which valuable maps became prized targets for the most powerful factions on Earth. From the war's earliest days, Nazi Germany systematically seized rare documents throughout Europe, particularly targeting ancient maps, detailed geographic records, and archaeological archives from prominent museums, libraries, and universities. Adolf Hitler and top Nazi officials believed these geographical materials could unlock ancient technologies and lost civilizations such as Atlantis or Lemuria, which they thought might empower their quest for global domination. One most notorious case occurred in 1939 when the German army occupied Warsaw and raided Poland's National Library. Countless precious archives vanished mysteriously, including rare ancient maps detailing Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and other poorly documented regions. Many historians believe these documents were transported to secret vaults in Berlin, where they were studied and stored, but after the war's end, most were never recovered. In Asia and the Pacific Theater, Japan similarly appropriated critical geographic maps and records from colonial territories like Indonesia, the Philippines, and Indochina. Japanese archaeologists and military historians systematically confiscated valuable documents from libraries, museums, and archaeological sites within occupied territories. Maps showing strategic sea routes, remote islands, and resource-rich areas became prime targets. A particularly striking example is the disappearance of meticulously detailed maps created by Dutch colonial authorities in Indonesia, richly documented geographic surveys covering Southeast Asia and remote Pacific islands. When Japan seized Indonesia in 1942, these maps vanished from libraries and research centers in Batavia, now Jakarta, most never resurfacing even after the war. Meanwhile, in Europe, Allied forces, particularly the United States and the Soviet Union, also conducted secretive operations to acquire crucial German geographic documents during the war's final phase. In May 1945, as Soviet forces captured Berlin, they systematically seized Nazi Germany's remaining secret documents, including maps and archaeological files. The ultimate fate of these secretive materials remains a major historical mystery hidden deep within former Soviet archives, now in Russia. Researchers have speculated that among these vanished documents were medieval maps depicting ice-free Antarctica, Atlantis, or unknown territories never officially discovered. These highly sensitive documents, sought by both Nazi and Allied forces for strategic or military advantages, may have been deliberately concealed post-war to avoid political and scientific upheaval. Another intriguing case is Leipzig's ancient library in Germany, which held numerous rare 16th and 17th century maps. American troops seized these materials in 1945 and shipped them to Washington, D.C., but many vanished mysteriously en route.
Modern historians question whether these maps were genuinely lost or secretly preserved within government agencies or powerful organizations. Beyond Allied and Axis powers, the Vatican itself reportedly undertook operations to acquire and safeguard important geographical documents during wartime. Historical sources suggest the Vatican archives received sensitive geographic records from various countries to protect them from destruction or capture by dangerous factions. To this day, the Vatican has never publicly acknowledged these documents, adding yet another layer to an enduring historical mystery. World War II not only devastated countless lives and cities, it also concealed or erased a vast reservoir of invaluable human geographical knowledge. These vanished ancient maps, though possibly never to be publicly revealed again, linger as historical ghosts, precious geographic records capable of reshaping our entire understanding of human history and the world around us. And today, the greatest question remains unanswered. Where exactly are these ancient maps lost during World War II? Were they permanently destroyed, or do they remain securely hidden within secret archives, quietly waiting until we are finally prepared to face the profound truths they contain? Truths that may fundamentally alter how we understand the history of our world. If history has taught us anything about ancient maps, it's that countless invaluable documents have mysteriously vanished or been deliberately destroyed. Yet sometimes the strangest maps appear from the most unexpected places, stunning the scientific community. One such astonishing discovery is the Dashka stone,
an enigmatic artifact unearthed in Bashkortostan, Russia in 1999, which purportedly dates back an incredible 120 million years. This stone appears to display an incredibly detailed geographical map, and its very existence immediately sparked fierce debate within the global scientific and archaeological communities. If its age proves accurate, the Dashka stone could completely rewrite our understanding of human civilization and Earth's history. Dubbed the Map of the Creator, the Dashka stone was accidentally discovered by researchers from Bashkir State University during a routine geological survey. At first, scientists assumed it was an ordinary slab of rock. However, closer inspection revealed that its surface displayed unmistakably detailed three-dimensional terrain structures, accurately depicting the Ural Mountains region and surrounding areas. Rivers, mountain ranges, intricate canal systems, and even artificial structures appeared distinctly on the stone. Details that could only be captured accurately with modern technology such as satellite imaging or topographical radar. The Dashka stone's mystery deepens further due to its extraordinary craftsmanship and composition. Initial analyses identified the stone as dolomite, but it appeared to have been meticulously processed using exceptionally advanced techniques to achieve a perfectly smooth and flat surface. Russian scientists contend these techniques vastly exceed the capabilities of any known ancient civilization. The intricate markings suggest the map required an aerial perspective, perhaps even observations made from Earth's low orbit to achieve such precision. The greatest controversy surrounding the Dashka stone is its purported age. Researchers from Bashkir State University claim it dates back an astonishing 120 million years, a period during which, according to modern evolutionary theory, humans did not yet exist on Earth. If so, who could have created this detailed map? Could it indicate the existence of a technologically advanced civilization predating even the dinosaurs? One that later vanished completely from the face of the Earth? The discovery instantly became a lightning rod for debate within the international scientific community. Many mainstream scientists reject the stone's claimed age, proposing instead that it's either a natural geological phenomenon or a much more recent artifact, misunderstood as ancient. Yet, advanced X-ray analyses and detailed geological tests continue to reinforce arguments that the Dashka stone is indeed artificial, crafted long before humanity's documented history began. Some researchers propose an even daringer hypothesis. Perhaps the Dashka stone originated from an extraterrestrial civilization that visited Earth millions of years ago, leaving behind enigmatic archaeological evidence. Although these theories attract skepticism, the stone's astonishing complexity and accuracy prevent scientists from outright dismissal. Researchers have also drawn connections between the Dashka stone and ancient legends worldwide, describing gods or giants who ruled the earth in a golden age predating humanity. Some even speculate the stone might represent surviving evidence of legendary prehistoric civilizations such as Atlantis, Lemuria, or Mu, civilizations believed to have possessed technological capabilities far surpassing our imagination. While the heated debates persist, the Dashka stone's existence has undeniably shaken the confidence of mainstream science, prompting serious questions about the true capabilities of ancient civilizations. It compels us to consider whether Earth's history has witnessed multiple cycles of advanced civilizations that rose and then completely vanished, leaving behind only sparse and cryptic artifacts like the Dashka map. From a broader perspective, the Dashka stone serves as a powerful reminder that no matter how thoroughly we believe we've understood our history, Earth still hides countless secrets beyond our current comprehension. The appearance of this artifact not only fuels new theories about prehistory, but also suggests that perhaps many similar ancient maps still remain undiscovered, waiting quietly for someone to unearth them, maps capable once again of completely reshaping our understanding of the past. If the Dashka stone in Russia has ignited controversy over Earth's ancient history spanning millions of years, across the globe, hidden deep within the mystical landscapes of Peru, another set of enigmatic stone maps has emerged, allegedly guiding explorers to El Dorado, the legendary city of gold. These stone maps not only sparked centuries-long treasure hunts across the Americas, but also compel archaeologists and historians to grapple with a profound question. Could El Dorado be more than mere myth? Could it represent a real ancient civilization, clearly documented in stone, but still beyond modern comprehension? Peru's dense rainforests and the vast expanses of the Amazon have long been considered treasure troves of archaeological secrets yet to be uncovered. Indigenous legends vividly describe a city constructed entirely of gold, hidden deep within impenetrable jungles, a city known simply as El Dorado. For centuries, European adventurers have lured them into perilous journeys in pursuit of unimaginable wealth and glory. Yet, alongside these stories of myth, actual ancient stone artifacts bearing mysterious maps have been discovered, maps believed by some to point directly towards this elusive golden city. One of the most prominent discoveries is the Sayhuite monolith, a massive granite stone over 4 meters wide, found in the Apurimac region of Peru. Dating back to the era of the Inca civilization, the Sayhuite stone is elaborately carved with remarkable precision, depicting clear geographical details such as mountains, rivers, canals, lakes, and even intricate irrigation systems. Many researchers assert that Sayhuite is a 3-dimensional representation of the complex Inca water management system across the region. However, others propose a more tantalizing theory, that this massive stone may in fact be an encoded map guiding the way to El Dorado, or at least to a secret city concealed by the Inca from the outside world. Adding to Sayhuite's mystery are the numerous undeciphered symbols etched onto its surface. These markings might represent geographic markers charting a specific route through treacherous mountain terrain, but they may also bear deeper spiritual significance tied to ancient Incan rituals. Some scholars go even further, speculating that Sayhuite could represent not merely a practical map, but a symbolic key embodying the geographic and cosmic wisdom of an ancient civilization, a wisdom that modern science has yet to fully interpret. Not far from Sayhuite, atop the high plateau of Marcohasi, other mysterious stone carvings, also suggested to be ancient maps, have captured the interest of researchers. Independent investigations indicate that the enormous rock formations of Marcohuasi, when viewed from above, clearly outline complex geographic and celestial patterns. Some archaeologists believe these formations might not simply be artistic endeavors. Rather, they might serve as maps directing observers to sacred sites, or perhaps even to the fabled Golden City itself. Yet the greatest enigma surrounding Peru's stone maps is undoubtedly the infamous collection of engraved artifacts known as the Ica stones, discovered near the ancient city of Ica. Starting in the 1960s, Dr. Javier Cabrera gathered thousands of these peculiar stones, each meticulously carved with intricate maps and scenes, seemingly depicting historical events never recognized by official history. Most controversially, these maps show scenes suggesting human interactions with dinosaurs and the use of advanced technologies, perhaps even aerial or space travel, depictions entirely at odds with accepted historical narratives. Mainstream archaeologists largely dismiss the stones as modern hoaxes designed for profit. However, recent scientific analyses utilizing advanced methods have indicated that at least some of these artifacts are genuinely ancient, not recent fabrications as previously assumed. This new evidence raises compelling questions. Could the Ica stones represent authentic maps passed down by an advanced ancient civilization, a civilization unknown to modern history? Despite ongoing controversy, these mysterious Peruvian stone maps, Sewit, Marcahuasi, and Ica, lend substantial credibility to theories suggesting this region once held profoundly advanced geographic knowledge. Such knowledge may have been created and carefully guarded by advanced prehistoric civilizations that later mysteriously vanished, leaving only cryptic traces of their existence behind. These ancient maps may do more than point toward a mythical city like El Dorado. They may indicate that ancient peoples once possessed geographical and astronomical understandings far surpassing our contemporary imagination. Still unanswered are the ultimate questions. Was El Dorado truly more than myth? Could these enigmatic stone maps be the last remaining clues pointing toward a real golden city? Or perhaps are they undeniable proof that ancient civilizations once transcended traditional geographic boundaries, possibly even observing the Earth from above through aerial or even orbital vantage points?
While mysterious stone carvings in Peru hint at the legendary traces of El Dorado, far across the ocean, hidden deep within the dense jungles and ancient valleys of India and Cambodia, old temples guard their own mysterious maps. Etched intricately into stone walls, containing secrets never fully revealed about the enigmatic Indus and Angkor civilizations. These once flourishing societies disappeared inexplicably, leaving only tantalizing clues that continue to amaze and mystify modern historians. One of the most striking discoveries linked to these ancient maps is found at Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument in the world. Nestled deep in Cambodia's dense forest, Angkor Wat is more than just an architectural marvel. It conceals countless archaeological mysteries yet to be fully unraveled. Among these are colossal bas-reliefs carved into stone corridors, depicting intricate geographic maps and astonishingly precise astronomical diagrams. one particularly significant relief, located along the central corridor of Angkor Wat, distinctly portrays the structure of the solar system, including the Sun, Earth, and other planets, with remarkable accuracy. Modern archaeologists now grapple with an intriguing question. How did the ancient Khmer civilization, existing nearly 1,000 years ago, possess such sophisticated astronomical and geographical knowledge without access to any modern observational technology? Beyond Angkor Wat, similar maps have been found at other temples in the Angkor complex, such as Bayon, Ta Prohm, and Pre Khan. These carvings depict lands known to the ancient Khmer, detailing intricate trade routes stretching from Cambodia all the way to China, India, and even distant maritime regions like Indonesia and the Philippines. This prompts historians to seriously reconsider whether the Khmer Empire once managed a far more extensive trading network than previously acknowledged. To the west, on the Indian subcontinent, ancient temples like Kailasa at Ellora, carved entirely from a single rock, as well as the enigmatic sites of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa from the Indus Valley civilization, also preserve mysterious symbols and maps. The Kailasa temple in particular, with its structure meticulously chiseled from a single stone, contains carvings clearly illustrating astronomical and geographic diagrams, including depictions now recognizable as planets and the solar system. Astonishingly, when viewed from above, the temple's structure mirrors a miniature model of the cosmos, accurately expressing complex three-dimensional spatial concepts rarely seen in other ancient civilizations. Equally intriguing are discoveries from the ancient Indus Valley civilization, where archaeologists have uncovered exquisitely carved small stones bearing perplexing geographic images, possibly ancient maps detailing sea and land trade routes. Recent archaeological findings suggest the Indus people traveled extensively, engaging in commerce with distant civilizations from Egypt to Mesopotamia. These maps may represent crucial evidence that the Indus civilization held sophisticated geographical knowledge and advanced maritime technology far beyond what has previously been accepted. Perhaps the most compelling mystery surrounding these ancient temple maps in India and Cambodia is that they appear to depict lands never clearly recorded in mainstream history, including remote islands in the Indian and Pacific Oceans, and even submerged territories that might correspond to legendary lost civilizations such as Lemuria or Mu. This intriguing possibility suggests ancient civilizations may have had contact with distant lands completely overlooked by modern historical accounts. Some researchers even propose the daring theory that these temple maps are not merely geographic records, but encoded messages containing profound astronomical and cosmological knowledge, insights that modern civilization is only beginning to comprehend. These carvings might hold keys to ancient wisdom about space, time, and Earth, wisdom lost over centuries due to historical upheaval and wars that destroyed invaluable knowledge. Ultimately, these enigmatic maps might be compelling evidence that the Indus and Angkor civilizations possessed advanced technologies far beyond what has been previously acknowledged. Perhaps they once employed sophisticated methods in astronomy and geography. possibly even aerial observation techniques, to craft detailed maps whose true significance we are only beginning to understand through modern science.
If the mysterious maps carved in temples at Angkor and in India stand as proof of ancient civilizations' complex astronomical and geographic knowledge, the clay tablets of ancient Sumer, often called the cradle of writing and the first true cities, open yet another fascinating chapter in our journey to decode humanity's geographical secrets. Thousands of years have passed, yet these ancient Sumerian maps continue to puzzle archaeologists and historians alike, filled with details so astonishingly precise that even today modern humanity struggles to fully understand their meaning. The Sumerian civilization flourished in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, between approximately 4500 and 1900 BCE. They were renowned for their advanced achievements in mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. However, what truly captures attention are the small clay tablets discovered in cities like Ur, Uruk, and Nippur, on which ancient scholars meticulously recorded extensive astronomical data, geographical information, and enigmatic maps depicting distant regions still unidentified by modern geography. One of the most famous of these tablets, known as the Babylonian Map of the World, was uncovered at Sippar and dates back to the 6th century BCE. Though discovered in Babylon, its content traces back thousands of years earlier to ancient Sumerian sources. This remarkable clay tablet represents the Earth as a circle, surrounded by various lands, oceans, and distant islands, many of which modern archaeology still cannot precisely locate. Most intriguingly, the map includes legendary places like Dilmun, described in Sumerian legends as an earthly paradise, as well as other mysterious lands apparently unknown during that era. The inscriptions on this tablet contain surprisingly accurate geographical and astronomical information, yet modern researchers are perplexed by references to locations not found in any other historical records. Scholars now wonder, did mythical places like Dilmun, Magan, and Meluha, described in these Sumerian maps, truly exist? And if so, where might they lie today? These ancient Sumerian tablets didn't merely describe the Earth and distant lands, they also depicted incredibly accurate astronomical models. Archaeologists have uncovered numerous astronomical maps carved onto clay, detailing constellations, planetary positions, and even precise predictions of astronomical phenomena like eclipses. What's most astonishing is the inexplicable precision of these records, far beyond the capabilities of contemporary technology of that era. Some researchers have boldly suggested that the Sumerians must have had access to highly advanced astronomical instruments or even the ability to observe celestial bodies from space. Perhaps the greatest mystery lies in tablets depicting so-called celestial pathways, routes believed to be traveled by the Sumerian gods as they moved between Earth and other worlds. Descriptions of these pathways remarkably resemble flight paths or orbital trajectories as understood by modern astronomy. Some daring theories speculate that ancient Sumerians may have interacted with extraterrestrial civilizations, explaining how they acquired such advanced astronomical and cartographical knowledge. Other mysterious tablets found in the ancient city of Uruk contain detailed records of complex trade routes reaching as far as Egypt, the Persian Gulf, and beyond. These routes were meticulously described, reflecting an extraordinary geographical understanding possible only through extensive first-hand exploration. But this raises another compelling question. How could a civilization existing over 4,000 years ago produce maps with such stunning accuracy unless they regularly undertook long-distance maritime voyages? Another intriguing hypothesis is that these Sumerian maps might originate from even older civilizations, whose knowledge was inherited and preserved by the Sumerians across generations. Some scholars go so far to propose that legendary civilizations such as Atlantis or Lemuria may have had direct contact with the ancient Sumerians, transmitting valuable geographical and astronomical knowledge. These insights were then carefully documented by the Sumerians onto clay tablets, many of which remain only partially deciphered today. Perhaps in the near future, advancements in archaeological techniques and technology will allow us to finally unlock the secrets contained within these ancient Sumerian clay tablets. By doing so, we may gain deeper insights into humanity's enigmatic past, a treasure trove of wisdom meticulously preserved on small clay tablets, each holding profound revelations about our planet and the universe beyond. If the clay tablets from the ancient Sumerians challenged humanity's understanding with maps that remain partially indecipherable, China's ancient stone maps, known as Chichi, are quietly revealing compelling evidence of prehistoric civilizations that once flourished, then mysteriously vanished from human history. For thousands of years, these ancient stone-carved maps have surfaced across China, from remote mountains of Tibet to secluded caves in the provinces of Guizhou and Shanxi. Yet some of these ancient artifacts depict not only familiar regions, but also present strange geographical information so accurate that it seemingly exceeds the capabilities of ordinary ancient civilizations. One of the most remarkable discoveries occurred in 2002 in the Kunbang Mountains of Qinghai Province. Here, archaeologists uncovered a giant stone slab known as the Qinghai Stone Map. This stone, estimated to be at least 3,000 years old, features an incredibly detailed geographic diagram covering an expansive territory, complete with mountain ranges, rivers, lakes, and even man-made structures such as canals and roads. Initially, researchers considered it a creation of an unknown ancient civilization. But deeper analysis revealed that the accuracy and complexity of the Qinghai Stone Map defy conventional understandings of ancient Chinese history. Some scholars speculate that the creators might have possessed aerial viewing technology or even flight capabilities, ideas that mainstream history firmly rejects for that era. In addition to the Qinghai discovery, another stone artifact called the Pingtang Stone Map was found in Guizhou Province, also in 2002. This stone carving, dating back roughly 12,000 years to the Neolithic period, vividly portrays what appear to be rivers, mountains, and even large urban areas. Controversially, it also contains mysterious characters strikingly similar to modern Chinese script, characters traditionally believed to have emerged thousands of years later. Could this indicate an advanced prehistoric civilization that rose to great heights only to vanish without leaving clear historical records? Meanwhile, in Tibet's ancient caves, archaeologists have discovered numerous paintings and maps drawn directly onto stone walls depicting expansive lands, intricate trade routes, and intriguing astronomical symbols. These maps go beyond the immediate surroundings, referencing distant regions outside the boundaries of ancient China, and even legendary lands never documented officially in historical texts. Many scholars theorize these enigmatic stone maps represent the legacy of prehistoric civilizations whose sophistication far surpassed our contemporary imagination. They may constitute powerful evidence that humans' history is not merely a straight line of continuous progress, but rather a cyclical journey marked by the rise and mysterious disappearance of advanced societies.
Some theories even suggest these stone maps are connected to ancient Chinese legends of celestial beings who descended from the heavens, imparting advanced astronomical, geographical, and technological knowledge to humanity. Perhaps these maps were created based on teachings passed down from these heavenly beings, possibly extraterrestrial entities who once made contact with our prehistoric ancestors. Recent studies have uncovered additional stone maps in northern Chinese regions like Inner Mongolia and Gansu, illustrating trade routes stretching from China all the way to Europe and the Middle East. These paths resemble the famed Silk Road, but are depicted on stone with an astonishing accuracy and detail, suggesting such ancient trade routes may have existed thousands of years before official historical records acknowledge them. Most intriguingly, these maps also depict distant oceans and remote islands, prompting hypotheses that ancient Chinese civilizations undertook maritime voyages far exceeding what traditional histories have documented. Some researchers have linked these stone carvings to legends of mythical lands like Fusang or other mysterious islands recorded in ancient texts, places whose exact locations remain elusive to modern archaeologists. Reflecting on the countless mysteries posed by ancient maps from around the world, from the enigmatic stone carvings of Peru and the temple maps of Angkor, to the clay tablets of Sumer and the mysterious stone maps found in China, we can't help but ask the crucial question: is the geographical history we know today truly complete? Or are there significant gaps and overlooked truths still waiting to be revealed? For centuries, the history we've learned from textbooks and mainstream narratives has depicted humanity's journey as a straight line of progress, continually advancing from primitive beginnings to modern civilization. Yet, the appearance of these astonishingly accurate ancient maps, far beyond the technical capabilities attributed to their time, suggest something entirely different. These maps indicate that human history might not be linear at all, but rather a series of cyclical rises and abrupt falls of advanced civilizations, leaving behind only faint traces for us to discover today. One of the greatest gaps in conventional geographical history is its refusal, or perhaps reluctance, to acknowledge civilizations that once achieved technological and intellectual advancements far exceeding their supposed historical period. Civilizations like Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu, or the societies behind Egypt's pyramids, South America's lost cities, and extraordinary temples such as Angkor Wat, may not have been merely ordinary ancient cultures. Instead, they may have possessed deep astronomical and geographical knowledge that modern scholars have yet to fully comprehend. Another critical shortcoming in traditional geography is the frequent dismissal or marginalization of ancient maps and documents we cannot yet explain. Remarkable artifacts like the Piri Reis Map, Oronteus Finaeus chart, Sumerian clay tablets, and China's puzzling stone maps are often brushed aside as mere anomalies, fantasies, or mistakes of the ancient world. Instead of diving deeper into their mysteries, modern academia frequently opts for simpler, more convenient explanations that comfortably align with established historical narratives. Perhaps the most significant oversight in geographical history today is our unwillingness to confront challenging questions, questions that might profoundly disrupt our established understanding. Could there indeed have been civilizations that possessed technology surpassing our current imagination? Were ancient maps genuinely created using aerial or even space-based observations thousands of years before flight existed? And have certain powers deliberately censored or destroyed crucial geographic evidence throughout history to maintain control and dominance? Though these questions may seem daring or even provocative, historical events have shown that they're entirely plausible. Great libraries such as Alexandria were destroyed, causing irreplaceable knowledge to vanish forever. Powerful secret societies and political institutions have tightly controlled geographic information for centuries. And even today, countless valuable maps and records mysteriously disappear amid warfare and political upheaval. These incidents strongly suggest that the geographical history we currently accept is missing many critical chapters. Ancient maps, mysterious stone carvings, and yet-to-be-deciphered archaeological records are more than fascinating relics of our past. They are powerful reminders that human history is far more complex and mysterious than we've ever imagined. It's possible that ancient civilizations reached heights of development still unimaginable today, and that some of their most valuable knowledge was lost due to natural disasters or devastating wars. The ancient maps we've discovered might represent only a small fragment of a much greater truth that humanity has yet to fully grasp. So how can we begin to fill these critical gaps in geographical history? Perhaps the answer lies in fundamentally changing our approach to the past. Rather than fiercely defending established viewpoints, we must encourage independent, rigorous research into these mysterious documents, daring to ask questions we've traditionally avoided. Only then can we move closer to the truth, however unsettling or paradigm-shifting it might be. Ancient maps from distant places like Peru, China, India, Sumer, and even Antarctica send us a clear message. The history we've been taught may represent just a small, heavily distorted fragment of reality, shaped and censored by time and power. These maps might not simply depict geography. They could be profound warnings that we are overlooking critical insights about our world and the universe, knowledge that ancient civilizations once possessed, but which has since been entirely lost. The biggest question now isn't merely what are we missing in our geographical history, but rather whether humanity is prepared to confront previously unknown truths, truths that could completely transform our understanding of the world, history, and even ourselves. Perhaps the answer to this question is the true key to unlocking the deepest secrets that geographical history still conceals.